Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter. Each week, the Gold Sheet team delivers analysis on NFL and college football games, along with NBA and college basketball matchups. The Gold Sheet maintains in-depth point spread and results logs, giving sports bettors and enthusiasts the insights needed to maximize their wagers. For over 60 years, Gold Sheet readers have received key releases based on power rankings on all teams, and for the first time ever, you can now get these selections exclusively at goldsheet.com, wagertalk.com, and sportsmemo.com.
Oh. Room service. Welcome in, guys. Happy Tuesday to you. It is time to talk a little association here at the NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. Only 3 games on the card tonight, so we are going to discuss and break down all 3 games here tonight. We're going to do it with the A-team here on a Tuesday as we welcome back in Skee Profit in the house, as well as Tony Mejia hanging out with us. Rob Veno is here, and this will be great because only 3 games beginning in Dallas at 7:30 here tonight. So we'll talk about Dallas taking on Brooklyn. We'll talk about the Knicks taking on San Antonio, and of course, we'll end up with the Lakers losing to the Celtics taking on the Lakers. We'll go ahead and talk that as well, and we're going to start here, of course, with Skee Profit, man. What is going on? How has the week been treating you? And what, if anything, do you have locked in at WagerTalk.com for us tonight?
Well, this week just started. It's only been one day, and yesterday was not great for me in association. I went 2-3. Last week, overall, I don't know. And I know in NBA I did pretty well. Overall, I had a good week. I went 17-12. So hopefully, can have another profitable week this week. As far as tonight, I've made one play, a very small play, not strong enough to put up as a package. And there's one more that I'm just waiting on the line, just seeing where the line settles. And I'm going to make another one for tonight.
All right. Love it. Can't wait to see where it's going to end up here. Still, injury reports. We're waiting on Tony Mejia, much like we were yesterday, scratching our head going, why is all this money coming in on the Denver Nuggets? I don't understand it. And then ultimately, it didn't mean a damn thing anyway because they still lost. So what do you think here, man?
Well, I think somebody knew something. That's for damn sure. Because we were trying to figure that out. The Bulls, very resilient, that group. So definitely one to watch in the East. They got the Sports Illustrated hype and all of that, and actually lived up to it early, which was surprising. But now that we're deep into the season, they've dealt with some adversity and look legit. So maybe there's another East contender to be wary of. Decent night for me in the league. Did not like that the Orlando Magic had no backbone late to kill my double. My last 2 picks were my 4%, which was on the Clippers over the Blazers. So that was great. And it would have been nice to balance that out with a clean sweep because I had Wendell Carter Jr. over 22.5 rebounds and points, and he got that. But the stupid Magic garbage lost by 30-ish, getting 16. I fell for the number there. Big number. Figured Steve Kerr would rest guys in the fourth quarter. It didn't matter because the Magic were brutal. So, but a decent night there, and the run is now at 31-17 on total on all picks in NBA and 10-4 on player props. So we'll keep going tonight.
All right, we'll keep it rolling here. And I hear Rob Veno now representing Damian Lillard. Is it 2 years, $107 million, Rob? Is that what you're asking here? Or are you going to become the new GM of the Portland Trailblazers and trade his ass to the Knicks? What's going on, Veno?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that job as GM of the Trailblazers. That would be good. I would take that. Maybe bring Robert Harris with me.
Oh, no.
That job. Last night was, it's funny, Joe, after the show yesterday, you and I were chatting, and about 45 minutes later, that's when DeMar DeRozan got put into health and safety protocols, and it seems like an automatic knee-jerk to the Denver Nuggets. But as we know, as we said at the time, no DeRozan, Chicago will win this game now, and sure enough, they did. We'll see how it affects them down the road. No Kobe White, no DeMar DeRozan. They're getting a little short on players. But yesterday, my play was the 76ers, and credit to the Charlotte Hornets to come back on back-to-back, shorthanded. And Joel Embiid dominated. I think he was 15 of 20 from the floor, 43 points. But they couldn't shake that Charlotte offense. No how, no way. Big night out of Kelly Oubre Jr. So, again, if you're making notes for yourself, I mean, this Charlotte team appears to be in for the long haul this year because they're facing adversity these last two nights and performed very well despite that.
Yeah, no, it's congratulations to the Hornets. They are flat out balling right now, but we'll see. Like anything else, if that can continue. All right, guys, let's head to Dallas here. Take a look at the early game here, 7:30 Eastern Time tip between the Brooklyn Nets and the Dallas Mavericks. 2.5 is what it opened up, and if I'm seeing this now, I'm seeing down to right around 1.5 in the market, 221.5. So that was bet up from the 215.5. And as a quick look here, Skee, Doncic probable, Porzingis listed day to day. So it looks like the usual suspects here, but mostly all the big name guys are going to go here. So how are you leaning on this one?
I really, I think all these guys for Dallas are going to go, but I haven't been impressed with what I've seen from Dallas this year. Not that I've been the most impressed with Brooklyn, but the thing I'll say about Brooklyn is they're not covering games, but they've won 7 of their last 10. And I notice whenever they lose one, they come back and play really strong in that next game. I think they're 6-0 off of a loss, winning by an average of 11.8 points per game. So that makes me want to back the Nets here. And that's the only way I can think to play this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Nets have been winning games, Tony Mejia. They don't cover. They're terrible if you've been backing them, hoping they're going to cover games. They're just not. But here they are, once again, as a favorite on the road in Dallas. How are you looking at it?
Well, this is my 4% play that I have up for sale. So I will just talk about both teams. And in essence, the Nets aren't playing around anymore. Blake Griffin is out of the rotation. James Johnson's in it. That changed a little bit over the weekend, I believe, but that was because Johnson was injured. So Blake is back to the bench, and it's a team that started 2-3, Brooklyn. So there were excuses made early with the lack of continuity. The whole Kyrie Irving is not going to play surprise. James Harden looked a little bit out of shape, and now they have things going. But this is a game where both teams should be ready to go. We've got the Nets opening a 4-game road trip. Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Detroit, and that first part is near and dear to Mr. Harden's heart. So he'll be in Dallas at the Dollhouse later tonight, and then Houston, seeing old friends tomorrow, and probably wants to do it on the Victoria's tip. And as far as Dallas is concerned, look, they've lost 7 of 9 outright. This is a Jason Kidd-led team that is it needs to figure it out and deal with adversity. My Memphis Grizzlies to win the South West Division is looking really good right now. And they'll play Memphis tomorrow at FedEx, coming off a 97-90 loss to them without Doncic last time out. So Luke is going to go. So is Porzingis probably. And so, this is a very important game tonight. It'll be interesting to see how that translates in terms of style. Do we get to see a more open game with obviously so many talented offensive players in the mix, or do we see a game that slows down the stretch? I want no part of the total, but I do have a preference on the side, and that is up as a 4% play at WT.buzz/TM. So get it there.
All right. Well, here we are with a Nets team, Rob. I think 8-14-1 against the number on the season. That is second worst next to the Lakers. What are those two things those two teams have in common? A little overvalued in the marketplace, maybe, Rob?
Yeah, and I guess we could say the same about the Dallas Mavericks at home, right? At home this year, 3-7-1 against the spread. They've lost their last 4 against the spread at home. Some of that due to injury to key guys. We get it, but they just haven't been any good either. So I don't know which side you want to back. I would expect a little bit of a bounce back night here for the Nets offensively. They come in off their worst shooting performance in the last 3 weeks. Only shot 41.4% against the Bulls on Saturday. Lose that one, 111-107. Main culprit there was James Harden. Bad night, 5 of 21. less than 24% from the field, only hit 1 of 5 threes. The matchup there at point guard should be interesting tonight, right? James Harden against Luka. Expect Luka, who likes to body and muscle point guards around, to give a little to James Harden. We'll see how well he plays defense here, if he backs off, or if Luka can dominate him, or how that goes. I think the same can be said on the other side. Harden will certainly try and draw fouls on Doncic, so that should be an interesting matchup. The Mavericks are shooting so bad over this recent span, though, Joe. 7 of their last 9 games, 43% or less from the field. It's just not going to win a lot of games in the NBA shooting that poorly. And it makes you wonder how they shot 69% against the Pelicans that night when they scored 139. That game is actually in this 9-game mix. So one really terrific game, an outlier. The rest just poor shooting. Tim Hardaway looks like a go here. I agree with everybody else from what I'm reading. Everything is a go. Number really jumped total-wise on news early. I mean, we had, I think, a 6-point move in full game total and 3-point move in first half total. So, that's all because guys are playing for Dallas. We'll see how it goes here. I do think over is probably a good way to go in this game, though. There were better numbers early. 221.5 right now. I still think these two teams might get there.
All right, good stuff there. From 215.5 to 221.5. Big move on the total, as most guys ready to rock and roll in this game here tonight. Dallas taking on the Nets, 7:30 Eastern time tip. Let's head a little, further south from Dallas here as we go to San Antonio at 8:30 Eastern time. Why are the Knicks laying points on the road? Good Lord, 2.5. I thought this was the other way around. 2.5 is what they opened, and wouldn't you know it, I'm seeing a pickup in some spots here. That's better. 212 is an opening total. I'm seeing 210.5, 211 in some spots as well. San Antonio certainly has come around here, playing its best basketball of the season, Skee. So, I don't know, call me crazy. Laying points with the Knicks on the road, not me. What do you think?
I don't really, I guess if you're just going off of, Spurs, they have been playing well lately. They play really good teams, and maybe everybody's just a fan of the Spurs. I think they've covered 5 straight. So I guess from that aspect, I can understand why it's down to a pick 'em. But, it's the Spurs' 3rd game in 4 nights. Just played yesterday. Knicks off 2 days rest. I think it's their 2nd game in 5 days or something like that. I would think, and especially, the Knicks over this 3-game skid, I think 2 of those games they missed RJ Barrett and got him back for 1. Like, he's somebody they need in the lineup. So I'm leaning more towards the rested road team in this one. I would be taking the Knicks.
All right, liking the Knicks here in this one. Rob, Veno, what do you think here? We're always looking at the first half somewhere for the Knicks, if there's a number in there somewhere. But San Antonio certainly been playing some better defense here, seems to be what has turned this team around as of late.
Let's just make it real simple from a totals perspective in this game, Joe, because there's no more drastic difference between home and road total results than there is in San Antonio. 7-1-2 over the total at home. Average points scored at home per game, 225.5. Big number. On the road, including last night's under, they're 10-1 to the under on the road. So 7-1 with a couple pushes to the over at home. 10-1 to the under on the road. And the point gap is crazy. On the road, their game totals only hit 206.9. So you're talking about a 16-point difference. It seems real easy to buck this line move, which has gone toward the under, and just play over because that's all San Antonio seems to play at home. The only thing that scares me a little bit is, and again, it may just be that the Knicks are no good defensively this year, Joe, period, end of story. And I know there's games where they go in and out defending the 3. San Antonio is not especially a big 3-point shooting team, so maybe that doesn't matter here. But, off of that game, the 111 they gave up to Chicago, if Tom Thibodeau, and I think we talked about this prior to that game, that he was upset with their defensive play. It didn't seem to matter against the Bulls. So I'm almost of the opinion now that the Knicks are not going to be a good defensive team, period. I thought maybe when they shoved Kemba Walker out of the rotation, defense would improve a little bit in the backcourt. Doesn't seem to have worked. So to me, over 210.5 here, that's probably the way I'd look.
Yeah, I'm not seeing well, outside of Kemba, I guess. Is there anybody else on the injury report, Tony Mejia, for the Knicks? I mean, it looks like they should be predominantly healthy for this one.
Yeah, Nerlens Noel came back, and the mystery today is what Tom Thibodeau is going to do with the starting lineup, because he's promised wholesale changes. There's the free quickly movement. Might be very happy tonight if he gets promoted to the starting lineup ahead of Evan Fournier, who's really struggled defensively. And then from what I've also read is Nerlens Noel might be in the mix and Mitchell Robinson might be out of the rotation, or if he plays ahead of Taj Gibson, he's coming off the bench. And Robinson's aware of this because he said he's going to play hard regardless. So we'll definitely have a change in that starting lineup, which could affect Knicks' first halves, at least for the foreseeable future. Here's something that Tom Thibodeau doesn't like. The over is 4-1 in New York's last 5 games. Knicks have lost all 4 times that the games have gone over. So, do we see him pull back the reins? I mean, who knows? With quickly in the mix, it would seem to me like their defense does improve because he's a little better of a defender than Fournier, but he's also a guy that's going to push more often than Fournier and less of a spot up shooter. So it'll be interesting to see how the Knicks come out and what they look like from a continuity standpoint. Then there's the Spurs. You said, why are the Knicks favored on the road, which was the case in terms of the opening line? Well, it's because the Spurs are never favored. The Spurs haven't been favored since November 7th, man. They've been a pick 'em against the Kings on November 10th, and we're going double digits in games where the Spurs are catching points. So that's one thing to monitor here. And they've obviously been really good of late. 4 out of 5 outright, 5 in a row against the number. Really never quit against the Suns. We did give you, as far as the best bet goes, the Suns Spurs under last night. And that got dicey late, but it was a case of, again, San Antonio not shooting the ball great. And then the last thing that is on my radar here, the Spurs have only played 1 back-to-back all season, which has to be the lowest in the league, which is, it's crazy. That happened on the 22nd and the 23rd of October. So we're going months between back-to-backs. This is a situation for the Spurs to tackle. They are without Vassell, Devin Vassell, the one of their better young shooters. So, this is a game that could go either way. I would lean under, but again, there's so many variables that still need to be deciphered before tip-off that I may stay away altogether.
All right, it's an interesting matchup. Knicks taking on the Spurs, 8:30, 108.5 I'm seeing for that first half total. The Knicks pretty much still a pick 'em there also in the first half. Let's head over to the Lakers. We'll go to the Staples Center. Let's talk a little Celtics Lakers here as the Lakers open up 2.5 points. I'm seeing 4s now. Seem to be the prevailing number with, and I believe Brown has been listed as out. Jaylen Brown is out. Al Horford and Langford are active for the Celtics, as is Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, all listed as active or probable. So the numbers start to rise towards the Lakers here, Skee. 219 as a total. Celtics are on this West Coast swing. What do you think here, this Lakers squad? Is it a good spot to back them here with no Jaylen Brown?
Well, I'll say I think so. I just think, it's their second game in 7 nights. It's as rested as they've been, and as much as you're going to get in a season like this. And James likely to play, Anthony Davis likely to play. So that's what I really like about the Lakers. As far as what they've been doing lately, it's not impressive at all. It's pretty terrible. 2-6 against the spread their last 8. They're 3-9 as a home favorite in general. So I understand why nobody wants to take the Lakers. You look at the Celtics, they're 9-3 as a road dog. They've won 6 of their last 9 games, but mean, and I know they've had 2 days rest too, so it's not like they're extremely tired. But right before that, they played a couple back-to-backs. I just think I prefer to have the more rested home team. You can tell, like I'm focusing a lot on the more rested teams lately. So Lakers would be the way I would go here.
Yep. Yeah, they just got to figure out how to play some defense there. It does look like the offensive numbers are getting better here for the Lakers. It's always good to have LeBron back in the lineup there, Rob, Veno. But Skee mentioned it, 9-3 against the spread on the road, the Celtics. Meanwhile, Lakers just 4-11 on their own home court. It has not been good backing the Lakers at home. What do you think?
Yeah, line pushed toward the Lakers, right? We got as high as 4, and now we're back to 3.5. But of course, that line push, as we learned in the NBA here, it's never got anything to do with the game. It's only got to do with whoever's playing or not playing. Oh my God, Jaylen Brown's not playing again. We better go bet the Lakers. And now it's calmed down a little bit. But they've played once already this year. It was a 130-108 Celtics rout in Boston. In that game, the Celtics shot 38 free throws to get that game to 238. They made 31 of them. Wasn't a terribly fast-paced game. Available points in that one were 466, but they did score 51% of those points. A lot of good shooting in that game. LeBron and AD, that tandem did real well, 54 points scored. The Celtics did not have Jaylen Brown in that game either. So when I looked it over, virtually the same exact lineups and rotations are going to be present in this game. So does that mean a repeat of 238 points? I'm not sure. Total pushed real good early. It's backed off to, I think I saw 219 before we came on, Joe. It had hit up and around 220. Lakers shooting has been really good the last 4 games. I mean, 50% on the nose, 4 straight games. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. I don't know how we strayed to this. It might have been private conversation, but Boston, the last 2 games, where did the offense all of a sudden come from? Because they scored a ton of points in these first 2 road games on this trip. And it seems to me, and I read a couple articles on this, that perhaps this Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown together thing hinders the offense more than it helps it. Jason Tatum is playing better as of late. A little bit of freedom on the floor, maybe without Jaylen Brown. I'm not sure. I never really noticed it until I read it. But we'll see if the offensive firepower keeps up. I think it should. At 219, I think over's probably a little bit low of a price. You should buy over in this game. I would expect to see a little bit of pace and pretty good shooting on both sides. Lakers haven't corrected defensive problems for the most part. I mean, they've had a short spurt where they got better defensively, but overall just haven't corrected a lot of stuff. So I think both teams can score here.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've been rolling here, Boston, on this West Coast trip here, Tony Mejia. 107, by the way, the total in the first half of this Lakers-Celtics. It is the lowest first half total on the board in this one, which is interesting. But what do you think here, Tony Mejia? Lakers at home as a favorite, worth backing here tonight.
I mean, we've been saying this for a little bit, but the Lakers should be up for this game, and it is important. Dennis Schroeder coming back to town. I'm sure Skee is happy about that.
Woo!
All the Lakers fans get to boo him mercilessly and then heckle him and all that. So that'll be fun. And then, not to mention that, look, the Celtics are going for a season sweep. That's only happened 3 times since 07-08, which is the first time that happened was the Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce Celtics squad that obviously went on to beat the Lakers for their only title in that span. And then they did it again in 17, and they've been splitting every single season since LeBron joined the Lakers. So, that kind of stuff matters to LeBron. He doesn't want to get swept by Boston. So the Lakers will be up for this one. Again, the Staples should be hyped. No Jaylen Brown, so you have one of Boston's top defenders out of the mix. So yeah, this is a situation where the Lakers really need to win this game, and if they don't, they are a sub 500 team. So from a motivational standpoint, you look for LA to take care of business. Not that that's mattered. They do have a deeper bench than they did in that first game, because in that first game, I believe they gave up 70 second half points to lose that game, and the bench really got outplayed. So again, this is a situation where LA should have their bearings. He mentioned it. This is the most rested they've been in a while. First time all season that they've had 3 games 3 days off in between games. So hopefully they figured some stuff out and are ready to at least gain a season split against the Boston Celtics.
Look at Carmelo Anthony, how much he brings to this Lakers team off the bench here with a plus 1.5 net rating in minutes. It's pretty valuable for him to be there on that Lakers squad, help that offense, and hold down the fort here a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see. He is listed as a go tonight as well. There was some question with an illness, but he does look like he is ready to go. So now the question remains here. 3 intriguing games, 3 totally different sets of circumstances and numbers on the board. So, Skee, I'll come to you. Is there one of these games or a prop or a game side total that you're looking at a little more than the others?
I mean, well, as you say, Joe, everybody knows I love the Lakers, right? So I'm not even going to look at that game.
Yeah.
I'll go to the Knicks. I like the Knicks, man. The more rested squad. Third game in 4 nights for the Spurs, man. Give me the rest of Knicks to get back on track.
Wow, he's liking that. He's pulling the Knicks out here. I love it. All right, we're all going first half anyway. All right, Mejia, talk to us, man. Where are you going here tonight? What game you liking on the board?
Well, already said I'm not sharing what I like in Dallas and Brooklyn, and I have no idea what's going to happen in the Knicks Spurs game. So that leaves me with the Lakers, because I really do think that at some point they're going to get it together. So we talked off air once the Brown news became official. I was hoping to get in before that happened on the Lakers money line, because at that point it was 135, and that's really my max on 135, 140 on money lines. Now it's 165, 170. So you got to lay 3.5, 4. I guess I'll do that. Go Lakers.
All right, go with the Lakers here in this one. And Rob, Veno, I know Knicks first half. It just seems like that first half of the Lakers is a little low too, that 107. But Rob, which game here do you have circled for us?
Yeah, Tony actually talked about, Dennis Schroeder coming back to LA, but I'd imagine the other sideshow that will go on is the Chinese peace talks between LeBron and Enos Freedom that will go on in this game. So you can get a load of that too. I think that game goes over, guys. I really do. As I said before, the same exact lineups, depth charts, they're all the same as they were the first time around for the most part. And that game hit 238. I don't expect Boston to shoot 38 free throws. However, the Lakers probably shoot a few more than that. And Horton Tucker didn't really contribute at all in that game. Only 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting. If he gives just a little bit more, I think LeBron and AD get theirs for sure. And the Boston side looks like they're rolling offensively right now. It's a tough team to gauge. They're really good defensively for a week, then they're really good offensively for a week. But right now they're in the offensive groove, so I'll take over 219.
All right, looking over 219 in that one, guys. And you got the buzzer, Rob, so congratulations there. Go Texas or Southern. It's just suffice to say, we're all fading Houston tomorrow, so take that as you will there, Robert. But let's take a look one more time here as we've got Skee back in the Knicks. Let's get it done, Knicks, in the pick'em situation against San Antonio. Tony Mejia back in the Lakers. Get it done, Lakers, at home against the Celtics. And Rob thinks this game's going over here, 219, and probably going over that first half as well. Lakers -2 in the first half on that one. The other 2 games are pick'ems, by the way, in the first half. And don't forget, guys, of course, best bets are, like Tony Mejia told you, he's got a best bet in this game tonight between the Nets and Mavs. It's yours right now over at WagerTalk.com. Go grab it. These 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages ensure that you never miss a best bet. It's a great opportunity, guys. Hop in now. We got a ton of basketball coming your way, both in the association as well as college. So great opportunities here, guys, to make it a profitable season on the hardwood. Visit Skee Profit's page, Tony Mejia's page, and, of course, Rob Veno's page. And we'll be back again tomorrow, guys, with a full slate here. I believe we got 11 or 12 games on tomorrow. We'll have it all broken down for you, contrarian sides, dogs, you name it. we'll have it for you. But in the meantime, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner and make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. Until then, on behalf of Skee, Tony Mejia, and Rob Veno, guys, best of luck with the plays tonight. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.